Hello, welcome to Star Stop. You're with me, Salil, and I have to say, fan is a small word to use, but you know, in a very long career of sitting over here, I always say this. Every time I say, and I question and I thank everyone who allows me to sit here for long enough to be able to take Mr. Bachchan's interview over and over again. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me, Salil.
It's always a pleasure, sir, and I have to say, it's a long process. Do you enjoy this interview process, or you know, when you have to promote the film, or do you enjoy just the shooting process a little bit more?
Well, obviously, the shooting process is really enjoyable. This is a phenomenon that was not there in our time, so it's new to me. I don't know whether it actually helps or not, but you know, it's always wonderful to talk to people like you and to be able to talk about the film before its release. This never used to happen before. Before we just had, you know, newspaper ads that announced the arrival of a film.
So were you far more nervous then, and now?
Well, the nervousness exists even now. I mean, that's universal. But yeah, I mean, the whole process has now undergone a change.
Whenever you have people sitting across like a table with you, and I've discussed with numerous people who've sat there, I always say this: on a set, I guess they have their lines that they can say, and you know, they've done their vetting in process. How have you managed to stay like you have been with us sitting across here? And when we get overawed by, you know, people like you, do you have little bits and pieces on a set that, you know, you break the ice with, or you do something over there as well?
It'll be terribly arrogant of me to be able to answer this question. I mean, you know.
But do you have a breaking ice session? Is there like a chilled out session where there's a lunch on a set, or if there's a game that is played on a set?
Why should there be? We're just all artists working in the same project. There's nothing very special about it. I don't see why there should be any kind of speciality added to it. And why this importance?
Because it's you, sir.
No. We're all artists, and we're all, you know, committed to our work, and that's about it.
When I met Ramu the other day, he said, this association, big words, you know, we've all been huge fans of his work as such. You know, when we had come into Mumbai about 15, 17 years back, there were very few production houses that would give work to new faces that were coming in, and his was one of those. And when he walked in there, there was something about the kind of cinema that he made. You all have had a long association, you know, and there have been lots of films that haven't worked also sometimes. What is it that constantly brings you back together with him? You know?
Well, you actually said it yourself in his introduction. He is undoubtedly a person that kind of revolutionized cinema, or the kind of cinema that we were used to and were seeing. And then the topics he chose and the kind of reality that he brought into it. The design that he gave to his characters was so down to earth, you know, somebody that you could identify with immediately. They were not terribly escapist in nature, and he was able to produce the kind of effect, a commercial effect, by doing so. Apart from that, I think Ram Gopal Varma is an exceedingly intelligent person, and he's passionate about cinema, and that oozes out from you know, every aspect, either of his personality, his talk, his thinking, the way he wants to make movies, the kind of references that he will refer to while he's explaining something to you, or the book that he will refer to you. I mean, it's quite remarkable. So that is the kind of intelligence that he will bring onto the set, into the character that he designs, into the kind of language that he wants you to speak, into the kind of clothes he wants you to wear. And he's very definite about what he wants to do. As you said, you know, sometimes things have gone wrong, but I just... Have
you ever sat and introspected a lot over there?
Yeah, we talk about it.
Yeah.
As we do, even when there's a successful film. But that's part of, you know, creative discussions, if you want to call that. And it happens even when we're not working in a film. Sometimes we casually meet and we talk about various aspects of life and cinema. But yes, I do believe that he's a remarkable brain, and he's very sensitive about artists on his set. He will try to create an atmosphere which is conducive to the kind of performance that he wants. He's very sure, and he's very well worked out in his mind. His preparations for a film prior to coming on the set is absolutely immaculate. His management, his administration, his thinking process is all worked out before. So there's never any delay as to what is the next shot going to be or what is required of you. Yes, during your discussions of the film, if there are points that you want to discuss or debate or disagree with, that's the time that I feel we discuss and we come to a conclusion, and then that's executed. But even on set, if there is something that you feel very strongly about and he feels strongly about, he will come and express it to you. He will come and tell you, this is not working. So we say, okay, let's try something else. Or I would say, can I have the permission to do something else? And if it works, it is kept. If it doesn't, it's deleted. So I think it's a wonderful
But is that also
situation.
because you work so much within that? So I've seen, you know, some behind the scenes that were available with Prakash Jha. There's a sense of ease that you have with him also. There are lots of discussions that happen there, you know, and there'll be a lot of give and take that'll happen there. There'll be disagreements also that'll happen there, because it obviously stems from the fact that you've known him for such a long time as well. Is that also the reason why?
Yeah, I think it's a very healthy habit to have. If you're working with a particular producer or a director, it's wonderful to have that kind of a relationship where you can express yourself. After all, what is going to happen eventually is going to come on screen, and it would be terrible if the audience were to discover that you're expressing something where you're feeling uncomfortable, or you're doing something which is not agreeable to you, but your director is forcing you to do. But you know, it rarely happens. It used to happen with Manmohan Desai, because none of us that worked with him ever used to agree with what he was asking us to do. You know, say, "Man, kya kar rahe ho? Kyun karwa rahe ho tum mujhse ye? Kaun isko believe?" He used to just say, "Shut up and just do it." And we used to do it, and we used to see the results. They were so remarkable. So, I think it's a wonderful habit. Not really a habit, but I think it's very conducive to the kind of atmosphere that you require on set. If you understand your director and the director understands you, then I'm sure that what comes out eventually is what he has desired and what you are capable of doing.
You work so much, sir, you know, all the time, and I think that's possibly what keeps you so childlike as far as your decision to choose roles, or, you know, to work at that pace. Are you now reaching a stage where you decide to also not do a lot of work also, but still do as much work? You know, what is the decision? You must be getting 1,000 offers a day, you know.
No, I don't.
but must be difficult to say no sometimes, because they're obviously writing them for you, films for you.
No, by itself is a difficult word. It's very difficult to use it as often as one would want to. But yes, there are times when situations, circumstances, time-wise, just do not allow you to do everything that you want to do. I want to be working in every film that I see, but it's not possible. So you regret that, but obviously, you know, there are limitations to how much you can work, and those limitations will always remain. I hope they remain so healthily, as far as I'm concerned, because yes, I would like to continue to work.
This franchise probably is like your own. So we've all obviously grown up on Godfather's franchise, and I think if we weren't romantic, you know, like how people were when you were younger, you'd always want to do these dark kind of films where there'd be a little bit of mafia in there, and it's just a very exciting kind of cinema. You've done so much cinema, but when you started off, even your zones were in the dark zone, whether the Zanjeers of the world. Did you enjoy that kind of cinema a little bit more?
It's just that conceptually they were written like that. The writers are the ones that, you know, need all the credit, because they conceive something, and then they, thankfully, you know, put you in that spot and say, you're the person that's going to execute it. And so you try and do your best, and then you leave it to the audience, and if the audience likes it, then there's a sense of satisfaction. So,
but personally, did you enjoy darker cinema more than the?
Yeah, but you know, I just feel very privileged that I was able to have a fairly good variety of the work that came my way, be it the lighter films or the more middle of the path films like the ones that Rishida did, and yes, the more extravagant and very escapist cinema of Manmohan Desai, and some very intense films with Ram Gopal Verma and Prakash Mehra, and you know, Ramesh Sippy, and
even Black,
Mukul Anand, and Sanjay Leela Bhansali, and R. Balki, and Shujit Sarkar. Wow, just endless. Tinu Anand, Mukul Anand, just been very fortunate to have had the honor and the privilege to work with them.
And we've had the privilege and honor to watch Bachchan sir for so many years. And it's almost like, you watch it, it's a school sometimes, and then you revel in the fact that, he's chosen all these roles. And then there's this new innings that every 5 years that he picks up. And then some that he relives, like Sarkar. Sarkar is an exciting, when it first came out, I remember just looking at the promo with the music, with the close-ups, and I asked Ram Gopal Varma about this. I said, you created sound as another character with your booth, with your camera angles, you created another character, and that was not used so frequently in a number of films that were there. Yeah. Some didn't work, like Department, where he had the different kind of camera angles as well, but it's just a different kind of setup when you go in there. So does it require more of you as a performer sometimes, because there's just your eyes and your face and your nose in there?
That is Ramu's decision. We just enact what is asked of us to do. I don't generally ask, कितने का लेंस लगाया, 50 का लगाया, 100 का लगाया,
I don't know. Say that. Is it this much? Is it this much?
Yeah, sometimes it works. Yeah. Sometimes yes, you do ask purely because you want to remain in the frame, because the camera wants you to remain in a particular frame, so you can't be too exorbitant with your gestures. Yeah. But the decision really is his, and there are many times, many occasions that I've seen working with Ram Gopal Varma that you're unaware of where and how he is focusing the camera on you. I mean, you may be doing a very normal sequence, and now with the facilities of digital camera, where you can have 4 or 5 of them running at the same time, there's always some camera capturing some portion of you, which could be very vital and useful in the final edit. So he has an equation with his DOP.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that he discusses that with him much before coming on the set. This is the kind of lighting I want. This is the kind of atmosphere I want. These are the angles that I prefer. These are the places that I would like you to, move in. So that's something that is discussed technically between Ram Gopal Varma and him. He doesn't tell me that.
Really?
No.
Because when Sarkar came out, a lot of the discussion was the way it was shot.
Yeah.
By the layman also.
But that's Ram Gopal Varma. That's not me. That's his technology and that's his technique. But he will not tell you, I mean, generally you'll say,
so
there's a trolley movement, or I'm here and, I'm capturing you over the shoulder, whatever it is. But, I mean, with all due respect, I don't know how the other artists feel this way, but I feel that it's really none of my business to know where the camera is.
Do you miss the days of old when one shot would be set up with one look?
Oh yes. I mean, you don't miss it, but you wonder how those people functioned, with these very large Mitchell cameras and the lighting that was required for it, and these brute lights that used to be put on even in the bright sunshine outside. But yes, with technology, a lot of things have become, in a sense, easier because the facilities are better. But yes, you do wonder. It used to be a big challenge. A lot of the artists who I know, seniors of mine, who used to very sarcastically sometimes say, बेटा मिचेल कैमरा के सामने 75 के लेंस में जब तुम क्लोजअप दे पाओगे तब आकर के हमसे बात करना. So the 75 lens on a Mitchell camera was like the camera was here and you're here, and this Mitchell is massive. It's a huge camera, and you have people around you and you're asked to emote something. It's tough. So their challenge was not worthless. It was really,
so in a sense that has become a little easier now.
Yeah, I don't know about other artists. I'm talking about myself. Yes. So if something is really close to you, you get very conscious about the fact. And I remember telling this to Sanjay Leela Bhansali in one of the sequences in Black. Yeah. I was supposed to break down, and there was an emotional line, and so he'd put the camera here, and I did the shot, and he said, okay. I just felt that he wasn't entirely happy with it, and he wasn't saying it. So I said, Sanjay, I'd like to do it again, and can you possibly take this whole camera department some distance? So he said, fine. And so he used a telephoto, and we did the shot, and that came out better Somehow this is my personal thing. I mean, I'm sure there are many other accomplished artists who can work with this, but this is what my feel. So yes, having the equipment very close to you sometimes is very kind of very oppressive.
It's actually like having a person right in your face. You know?
Yeah.
A little bit further up does help. You've also sung in this, and the deep baritone does come out. And it's yes, you've experimented a lot with it, and with Ram Gopal Varma also, you've sung for him also. Do you enjoy that process as well? Now going behind the mic and singing, even though this is an aarti.
I'm not a singer. I'm not a trained singer, but sometimes they've asked me to do things, and I try to do my best. The aarti in the Ganesh aarti in Sarkar is actually a thought process which Ram and me had. I had prior to the shooting of the film.
Right.
Sung for Siddhivinayak temple. The aarti, they wanted me to sing it.
Which is mesmerizing when you go at 5:36 in the morning.
Yes,
and
yes.
The energy is awesome.
So it's a very unique aarti. And out of all the bhajans and aartis that we have, I don't know why this Ganesh aarti is something so divine and so emotional and so moving. The way the tune has been designed, the words that have been constructed. And I said it earlier somewhere that I was reading somewhere that the Ganesh Aarti is in vernacular Marathi. And unlike many other bhajans and which are more Sanskritite words, this is vernacular Marathi, and which is quite unique. So the way it has been designed, it was designed in almost 1600 by, and because I'd sung it for the Siddhivinayak temple, when Ramu gave this idea, I said, why don't you have an aarti? He thought about it and he said, yeah, it's good. So I re-sang the aarti. We haven't changed the tune because the tune itself is unique. But I wanted to sing it as though Sarkar himself was singing it, because he wanted me to be singing the aarti at the actual time of the immersion ceremony. So I re-sang it in perhaps a voice that Sarkar would sing it in.
Yes, I did realize it was a deeper.
And therefore it was slightly different, but that's how it came about.
It's fantastically rhythmic also. Before I wrap this up, even though I don't want to, but yeah, before I wrap this up, is there pressure on you always to relive this Sarkar character? Because everyone has so much, an expectation. They just want to see you there. They want to see the mannerisms. They want to see the movement. I know so many people that started doing all this later on, It became like a takya kalam.
I think it's true with every film that you do, and every character that you're introduced to by the writers, by the directors, by the producers. You wonder how it's all going to come out. Yes, it's true for Sarkar as well. No matter how many times we may have made a sequel, you still wonder how this one is going to turn out and whether it's going to be appreciated or not. And much like any other role that you do. So if I'm doing Pink, or if I'm doing Piku, if I'm doing Pa, or Black, or whatever, Diwar, or the olden times, you always wonder whether it's all going to come out right.
So do you have a butterfly in your stomach on a Friday?
Every day.
Really?
Yeah, even for interviews. Right now it's really bad.
Well, then I have 4 of them. You have 1, I have 4. Before we go to awards, still, sir, make you happy? I know all the Lifetime Achievement Awards will keep coming on your way, but when you do get an award for a performance, say like a Pink or the others, do you get really excited about that also?
Yeah, you feel nice about it. You're thankful to the people that consider you capable of getting one, and you accept it, and that's about it.
Well, thank you so much, sir. It was a real pleasure.
Thanks, Salil.
And there we go. Mr. Bachchan, I need not say any more. Sarkar, it is 3 that you would want to watch. Yes, he's singing in it as well. That aarti is fantastic. It's very hypnotic as well. But just the whole setting of the film is very hypnotic. I'll see you soon. Take care, and you can catch this entire interview, of course, on B4U Entertainment, the YouTube channel. Like it and share it.